Namaste, Jai Bharat. When Operation Sindoor was ongoing, Turkey, Turkey, I would say that now, Turkey went all out helping Pakistan, sending drones as well as drone operators. That's understood, it's implied. Simply giving drones they can't operate. So drone operators, I don't know how many, but in good number. Because the drone method which Turkey was employing is send drones plenty together. Something will be successful somewhere. So this used to be the technique, and Turkey is supposed to be making good drones. Of course, our air defense was sufficient and efficient enough to let no drone do any harm. That is a different story that people know it. Those who are interested can still find a lot of details about it. And then they had the arrogance and audacity of boycotting for goods. Fine. The specialty with Bharat is that which the world don't know and haven't understood that we don't speak things, we don't say things. Normally people make statements and press meets and narratives and stories about so many things, this and that, this will happen, that will happen, all kinds of things. Bharat is a different kind of tradition, has a different kind of history. We don't be loud, speaking, making noise, but quietly doing and undoing. Sometimes not doing is much more than doing. Undoing is what's already done. So even more than undoing is keeping silence or being silent is much more effective and harmful and destructive to such people. So what happens is, first of all, the tourists stopped going to Turkey and this Burkina Faso. They started not getting things regularly. The supply chain is disturbed. Our trade is disturbed. To what extent details I have not looked into is available. Many things they were depending on Bharat. The two things, a couple of things you should know. In trade with Bharat, we have reliable products, not very spurious like Chinese. Our products are reliable and they're not very expensive, rather cheap. Not throwaway cheap, but cheap. At that rate, such quality, perhaps no one in the world can deliver. A product with this given specifications and quality at this rate, I don't think you can buy from anyone anywhere else in the world. This balance is kept to the optimum in all products of my nation. This, of course, I am proud to say and confident to say. For the pharma, medicines we supply to the entire world. Reliable medicines, reasonable price. I don't know the comparative prices with nations like China. Maybe there are cheaper medicines, but reasonable prices. Very reasonable, and if you go for a substitute for that, you will have to pay up through your nose. So this thing got stopped, and these people did not know how this volcanic eruption starts. Volcano remains silent. Volcano remains silent. The silence are of two types. There is a kind of silence which is present in a graveyard. There is a kind of silence which is present in a graveyard, death silence. Death silence of death. But there is yet another kind of silence which is present in a volcano. There is a dynamic silence which can erupt any time, or you do not know which direction the silence can drag you into. So Bharat's silence I compare with the volcano of the silence of a volcano. What all things you do to us remain existential. They don't cease to exist. The reaction to that maybe not immediate, maybe not explicit, but then there shall be things through karma. So slowly these people start facing difficulties. Suddenly the market gets shaken. The prices go up. Supply chain that gets destroyed means automatically prices go up. There shall be dearth of things and etc. This is why Dr. Kamarchima like person somehow wanted desperately to have a trade with Pakistan, but then we can't because they have not proven themselves as trustworthy. They'll say one thing and definitely do the opposite of it. We are so convinced about the attitude of Pakistan, saying something and never standing by it. Because there is no one authority. There is no one authority in Pakistan. Similarly, Turkey and this such people who like Burkina, etc. They came distant Bharat, and the reactions are slowly and gradually unfolding, which they can't take, and now they start requesting. Similar is a condition which European Union, who considers themselves as very, very mighty. They didn't see it going. They didn't see it coming. Of course, their short-sightedness. That's why I say many times, can't see beyond the nose. They never saw it coming. But then suddenly, in 24 hours time, I suppose, as I understand, the oil prices tripled. We only stopped 40% of export to European Union, and of course the kind of reaction which Bharat is taking is very slow but very deadly. See, now we stopped 40%. Number one. Number two, the prices shall be going up. We are not going to give the same price. Number two. Number three, we won't give without paying first, or at least giving bank guarantee, credit later, etc. And the prices will increase at our convenience. And third point, the prices will keep rising, and the supply shall be getting reduced from 40 to 40% only stopped. Now it may be 50%, 60, something like that, to the convenience of the Naira company. Be able to. It's not at the instance of our government the Naira is doing. The Naira is doing because they are hardcore people of Bharat. They keep the nation in their hearts. It is an already original company of Bharat. They saw. They were having petrol outlets throughout Bharat. So this is the kind of strategy Bharat is doing. Now, taking very strong stand, and strong as well as consistent stand. The European Union has to find alternatives. They can't find substitute. The promise that America made that we will supply you better quality oil. Of course, that quality generally one cannot speak of. They claim, but it's not that genuine claim. We will supply you better quality of oil for maybe little higher prices, etc. But then that never reached, or at least not reached to the extent of the requirement of European Union. But they got trapped, European Union. Every nation in the European Union, all the nations there, faces the consequence just because of America. Just because America told them they listen. Of course, they listen. That's a kind of subjugative understanding between people. That's the attitude which they have to others. You have to listen to me. And then a nation like Bharat, why should you? We are not at the mercy of you. We don't have that great needs. That's the greatest thing a Hindu knows. We know how to say no. The greatest thing a Hindu is trained to say no. No, I don't want. This is an archetype kind of Hindu psychology, Hindu mind. When I am prepared to say no, what will you give me, and how can you entice me into acting something against my wish? because I am prepared to sacrifice. Taktena Bunjita. That's what Upanishad teaches us. So, this is how Bharat behaves. Turkey has really become Turkey. Such nations, even European Union, and all those who thought that they will make difference slowly and gradually and evolutionarily gets to understand that that kind of a game doesn't really work in this nation. So we shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Sri Ram.